Alright guys, take a look at this map and try to figure out where our star players are. Where would you predict? Is this them in Slappy? Is this them on Congested side? Are they in Brutal Bastion? Actually, all three answers are wrong, and they're actually sitting in Storm all the way on the outside. Alright guys, here's the deal. Duo Cash Cup. It's super hard to qualify to round 2. There's 25,000 teams and it's asking you to get top 50, and honestly that's really tough. Really tough. Here's the secret: once you get to round 2, it's super easy to make earnings. Like, it's top 45 to make money. It's super free. Like, look, if I go to round 2 and go to prize pool, it's like top 45 to make $100. The problem is getting to round 2, and that's exactly what we're going to address in this video. Just make sure you watch all the way to the end. Before we get started, I do want to talk about 2 different methods that you have to actually qualify for round 2. The first method, as most of you guys actually know, is really common, is to W key your first game, and they actually drop a high kill win. Maybe you mess up your first game like this, and then you just go for it again second game. It's really easy to do for the pros, but I don't think it's easy to do for everyone. It's very easy, guys, to look at top 50 and look at all the people that dropped high kill wins, right? It's not fair to compare yourself to that, because what you don't see is the thousands and thousands of teams who haven't made it trying to do this. So in my opinion, what you should do, actually, what I do recommend instead, is a different method. So if we go over to 9th place and we see their match history, they get second 5 elims, second 11 elims, first, and second. In total, they have 5 end games where they actually get a decent amount of kills. It's a small number, right? Very achievable, but they definitely get deep placement. And they only have 5 solid end games. All of the other end games are complete chokes. Yet they end up with 459 points, which is absolutely ridiculous. Oh, and by the way, last thing before we get started with the video, they have 3,000 PR each. That's it. These guys are not pro players at all, by any means of it. How are they able to do this? We're about to find out. They're actually sitting in Storm all the way on the outside, right? And so this is actually a crucial lesson for us to learn here. We need to use Storm to our advantage, because people don't actually realize that Storm actually keeps you safe. Think about how many people have moved into Zone because they want to avoid Storm, but Storm actually ends up really empty as a result, and so you can use Storm to safely do a wide rotate and get back in to the dead side, which is all the way back here, and that allows you to actually recover if you need any more mats, get into a safe position, not be around players. It's just a whole bunch of advantages that you can stack up for yourself. So I actually believe these guys rebooted because of an earlier mistake, but if you look at their mats, extremely scuffed, probably because of the reboot. Mercy has 20 builds and Isaac has 40 builds. They are absolutely scuffed, but this rotate, using Storm to run through and wrap around and get towards that side, is going to be the sole reason why they recover this game and get back to at least max wood and max brick each, which is a huge difference compared to them just white lining and coming in this way. And that's not going to be good, because they're going to be around a lot of players, which is going to prevent them from refarming. But because they use the dead side rotate, use Storm to get over here, if you just, play this out and watch how they come through, they're going to be able to get all this brick and all this wood, and then later get on top of this mountain. Like, guys, this is not special. This is not even difficult. You guys can actually do this. You just have to remember to do it in the Duo Cash Cup. It's super useful, guys. Use Storm, use dead side, and you're going to be rewarded with an absolutely free refarm and then absolutely free positioning in a really good spot because of how uncongested this side of the map is. So, super important tip. Hopefully you guys use it, and on to the next one. For the most part, they are not deviating all that much. Like, they did have a third-party opportunity, so they took this extra fight, but notice how this extra fight doesn't take away from their cash opportunity. And so because they didn't deviate from their cash, they're actually getting here right on time, and I believe this is their cash right here. And because they're able to get to their cash on time, they're not sacrificing the game in the name of kills, which is usually what people mess up in game 1, is that they just sacrifice everything. In general, they're just playing for the cash and then going for some AR shots on other people, and you see that someone else is coming in to sneak up on them and aggresses on them. This is where they're actually going to choose to fight back, because they're fighting over an objective. They're fighting over the cash. We need to box fight now. And they understand that if you just run away from this and give up the cash, then you don't really have an end game in front of you. But if you get the cash, which is in this box right here, not only do you have the metal to support the rest of the game, but you actually have the slurp. But it's actually really important that you fight over something if you do decide to fight. Don't deviate from your objective unless it's a third-party fight that you can get and finish before you go to your objective. So that third-party fight, it actually happens right here, and it happens in second zone, early second zone, and that doesn't interrupt their cash. But once they get over here and someone actually challenges them, it makes sense to fight over your cash. And so that's what they do. And I think this is just the right mentality, right philosophy to approach to a cash cup, so that's what I recommend. So the funny thing is, you guys may not realize that you can actually still get kills using this playstyle. You just need to do it differently. And so I do actually approve of the way that these guys actually chose to do it, which is to run double AR. You can see that Isaac has an AR, and you can see that Mercy has an AR. And they have a lot of ammo, maybe through augment use, maybe through opening a bunch of ammo boxes. You need to specifically spray people that are scuffed, coming in late, maybe third-party opportunities, and you're just going to pick up free kills just like this if really make sure you're focusing the same target. And like this, by every definition, is a free kill. And you're gonna find a lot of these. Like, honestly, I'll give you a really good example. I played with a student of mine who really didn't know how to do much, right? Like, never played a scrim in his life, and we ran double AR. We got 7 kills doing this exact same thing. And so this is crucial. You can get a lot of AR kills. You just need to know where to look for them, and you need to run double AR in the first place to be ready for that sort of situation to pop up, so you can actually take advantage of it. So definitely, guys, I do actually recommend running double AR. Some of you guys are concerned, like, oh, if I get into a box fight, maybe like if the AR is good. Yes, it is. This season, for some reason, they decided to put in a really powerful AR, and it's super good close range as well, and it's good for taking walls. So I do recommend running it. It's a super powerful gun. Only issue with the combat SMG is it has no influence in medium to long range, right? It's super good in the box, super good close range, but not comparable to the AR. So I do recommend running this gun, and I think you'll have a lot of success just like these guys do. They pick up a lot of free kills throughout the entire tournament just doing stuff like this. So you definitely want to continue to find kills like this, and I think you can have a really good time. Run that double AR, guys. So one very interesting detail about these guys is that they take height almost every single endgame, but I actually think it's super crucial to understand that they don't force it. They only take it if it's free. They specifically ram a little bit late here to try to make sure that they land after everyone. And so as soon as he lands, he goes up straight for height. And, you know, most people are done ramming. In this specific instance, it's, you know, ramming late. Like, listen, if someone took height that wasn't Isaac and his boy, you know, I think they wouldn't have gone for it. Maybe they would have gotten for it later, right? And so the idea, the name of the game is, you know, go for height, but don't force it. Like, if you force it, then it's not worth it, honestly. Like, in most cases, it's very difficult to retake if someone's going to contest you. But in this specific instance, it's just completely uncontested. So you actually save a ton of mats while up here because of how little mats you have to use per tile of travel while you're on height. As soon as they're up here, they're probably just going to connect through here. I think he got rammed across, actually, and so he's already connected to the hill, and the game's won from here, guys, honestly. So in moving zone 3 and moving zone 4, people stop ramming completely, and at least they try to avoid doing it as much, because it's actually really risky to ram in those zones because of how easy it is to beam you out of the sky. So in general, people stop ramming, and height becomes really powerful in those late moving. Guys, listen, height is super good even in this meta. Don't get deterred just because rams are in the meta to take height when it's free, and that's the key word: when it's free. And so in game 3, not surprised at all, they're on height again. And so let's see how they actually end up winning game 3. And so, guys, winning is super important. You get, let's just go double check, you know, why not? So winning actually gives you a stupid amount of points. Just from top 2, let's say you get top 2, right? Going from top 2 to the victory royale, as you can see, is absolutely stupid. It's +9. +9 is insane, guys. We're not even counting the fact that if you were to kill the last team and get kill credit, you're getting an extra 2 to 4 points for the kills in there. So going from top 2 to the win is an extra 10 to 11 points on average, and that's super important. So let's actually go back to the game and see how they actually managed to secure the win. From my experience, I think third partying the last 2 teams, specifically from top 3, is going to be your crucial, most important best bet here. You just definitely want to drop down and third party the last 2 teams in this specific instance, or honestly, because of how many mats they have, I actually think they just play heal off. It's just better to secure the win instead of, you know, risking anything. And maybe send one person down because they have such an established tarp. Like, why not send one person heal off, one person down, and try to secure the last 2 kills? If you just tag them once or twice, I think you'll get kill credit and you'll win the game. So I think, you know, chaining the slurp into the med mist that Isaac has, I hope, you know, Isaac drops his med mist here. Chooses not to, so that's not good. Oh my god, they're double ramming. Aha. Okay, well, this is interesting. It's a risky. I don't know if I agree with this, but you know, that's very interesting. I would have opted for the double slurp med mist heal off, one guy ramming. That's probably much safer, much more consistent. But hey, they made their decision. Guys, I'm very curious, by the way, small note, like after this video and after this week's Cash Cup, like come back to the comments and tell me how well you guys did. So in this specific game, they actually had everything lined up, doing everything pretty good. They used the island, you know, got the slurps from there, did a nice dead side rotate, ended up right here. And overall, guys, like their setup, you know, did the same thing as other games, and their setup very well. The only issue is they broke a fundamental rule of this meta. And the fundamental rule of this meta is to not use RAM in situations like this. In most cases, I would say RAM has to be used extremely cautiously. It is a very, very misleading weapon, right? Or tool, if you will. You really want to make sure that you're using the RAM in a situation where you're guaranteed or really, really unlikely to die midair. And this absolutely classifies as a situation where you are very, very likely to die midair because everyone else around you has no reason to be, distracted by anything else. For example, if you're in moving zone 1 or moving zone 2, there's actually a really good reason why people would not shoot at you because they're busy rotating. But this is a very, very early zone, and I don't think you necessarily have the reason to, justify your RAM here. Unfortunately, they decide to RAM, and as you might predict, not only do one of them go down, but the other one almost immediately goes down as well. And so this is really crucial. It really does show a point. Like, I absolutely do think that you just have to walk this rotate, right? Now, in order to make this rotate much safer, I really do recommend this, guys. Like, just spray. You're running double AR, right? I mean, this guy's running an SMG. I'm sure Isaac has an AR, right? And so really what you want to do is, like, if you think there's people in this box and, you don't feel like there's a rotate possible, just shoot the wall. Shoot the wall. See if they replace. If they don't replace, they're not in there, right? And so shoot this wall, clear these 2 boxes. Once you have that information, you can use that to walk rotate. I don't see why they don't walk rotate here. I really don't. The RAM is absolutely a mistake. And, I thought we would VOD this game even though they end up dying here. And, don't do well at all. Because you can learn from these guys' mistakes and try to avoid these 20-minute deaths that they have here. And the funny thing is, because of how consistent they played the rest of the games, their 20-minute deaths actually end up, not mattering. They end up getting top 9 anyways. Even though, as you can probably see, this game is an absolute throw. It's crazy how bad this game was for their placement. Definitely recommend using the RAM in a very cautious manner. Otherwise, this will happen to you. So let's think about it, right? One of the main things that you want to do to ensure that you get height using the RAM is be one of the last teams to ram forward, right? Immediately after landing frontside, they see that height's knocked out. So sometimes there absolutely is a height established, but if you're one of the last teams, like if you really think about it, right? Even height wants to ram, which is, I believe, exactly what happens here, right? There was a team on height, but then they ram because they don't want to burn mat. And obviously, as soon as they land, they try to establish some builds to really make sure that they prioritize building and prioritize saving themselves over fighting. It's really important that, when you do land in a very chaotic environment, you make sure that you're safe. That's very, very important. And so that's what they do. They build a lot, really make sure that their box is super, super safe. And then I think one of their teammates sees an angle to go for height because they're both front side. Everyone seems to have rammed and height is just not established right now. And so keeping an eye out and also just making sure that you're always looking for it. Something that really crucial that these guys actually do super consistently. And I think that's a big reason why they actually have a lot of wins in second place is they go for height very, very frequently. Almost every single end game, height has a part to play in it. It's really, very crucial that Isaac looks up here and just takes height for free, right? I'm pretty sure one of them looks up, sees that height's free, and then takes it super, super confidently. And like, guys, I want you to notice this. Look at their mats. It's not that much. They have 80 builds together, right? But they're very confident that they're going to keep it. So don't overestimate how many mats you actually need. You don't need that much to actually take height. They have 80 builds, they're going to take it. 80 builds isn't a small amount, but they definitely have good enough mats here to actually get height. Again, like I used to say this in all my videos, like getting height is the hard part, keeping it is easy. However, I do think in the RAM meta, you do have to watch out for one thing, which is, Rams, obviously. And in this specific case, I think your best bet is to just late rotate. If you think about how the Rams are going to go into next zone, right? If they do decide to ram, they're going to kind of go like at an arc. But if you're in the backside of zone and you're just kind of like chilling back here and slowly tarping forward, you're not going to be in their way. And I don't think people back here are going to go straight up, you know what I mean? They're going to try to go towards zone. They might accidentally get chopped out here. We'll have to see what happens. Even though they may not be in zone right now, I don't think they want to establish out their tarp and burn mats just for it to get chopped out by the accidental ram. So stuff like this will happen. You just have to be ready for it and just make sure that you're falling on top of builds, and I don't think you're going to be burning too much. I do think this situation, by the way, would be way worse if they were further ahead. They would be way more exposed to more accidental ram angles. But yeah, guys, like this is super simple. Use your resources as you have them, right? It's really important that the white heals are used in more creative ways. Height does become a really, really important objective in endgame, and I would say that a lot of people are decentivized from taking it because they're so scared from the ram. So this meta does seem like really important that you go for height just because of the fact that you do secure first or second place. Pretty much guaranteed if you take height. So yeah, I do recommend that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if you have any comments. I do think the most simple ideas are the most effective. So although most of the ideas in this video are super simple and straightforward, honestly, usually that's how competitive is. You just need to do well in applying them. So good luck to you in the duo cash cup, and we'll see you guys next time.